Testing, 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 testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mic check. David, you good? All right. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. Today is October 30th. We have all board members present and accounted for. If everybody can stand for the invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessings you bestowed on us. We ask a special prayer over our employees. Make sure that they're safe, they're healthy. Any issues with the family that has happened in the past, we pray over them and that they get through their challenges in life. Again, thank you for everything you've done for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to item C, public comment. Don't believe we have any, right? Okay, good. Moving on to item D, consent agenda. All items listed below to be considered routine, non-controversial by the board and will be approved by one motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered an action taken as necessary as part of the order of business. So we have items D1 through D9. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns on those items?
Point of order, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Item 9, I think should probably take a separate vote on because it is kind of above and beyond. It concerns condemnation of vehicles. So
Okay.
I would submit we approve everything through D1 through D8.
I'll make a motion, we approve items D1 through D8.
Okay, I have a motion for D1 through 8, and I have a second by Ms. McDaniel. All in favor? Any opposed? No, the ayes have it. All right, so moving to item number D9. Does anybody want to talk about that one?
Okay, so in item D9, this is surplus request for 2 vehicles. These vehicles, one of them is a 3/4-ton Chevrolet truck that's had a long maintenance history that just needs to be replaced. It had a service bed on it used by the water production department. What we did internally, we took another 3/4-ton truck, put the service bed on the other 3/4-ton truck, and just swapped the beds. And so we're going to surplus this one. The second one is just a Nissan that's been in the fleet. It's just worn out vehicle. So both of those are surplus requests this time. The one truck, the 3/4-ton truck, has already been replaced in the fleet by a crane truck. So now our water production department has the ability to pick up motors. So that purchase is already in the fleet. So that one's already been replaced. The Nissan truck is not going to be replaced in its current form. So.
And you guys have a past record already showing that you're getting a lot more.
Yeah,
than
it's in the,
we
I was trying to
expected.
pull it up, but in the operations report, the vehicle summary, it has the mileage by those 2 things. I was trying to find it.
Well, financially, though, I mean, you guys have done a great job getting the most bang for the buck out
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
vehicle, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I personally don't have a problem with that. Do I have a motion on item D9?
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion to approve D9.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Robertson, second by Mr. Sherman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, the ayes have it. All right, moving on to item E. Here updates of the following items from the GVSUD, General Manager, Staff, Committee Chairs. E1, Employee Recognition. Mr. Gage.
Okay, so this morning, it's my favorite thing to do. You guys know that already, right? But this morning, I'm going to call up Shanae, Jordan, and Brittany, please. Are y'all here? Oh, there they are. Okay, so check this out. Green Valley's got some, we got women power around here, right, as you can see. And these are some of our, unsung heroes that are not out every day fixing leaks or talking to customers every day. What they're doing is they're doing stuff in the background that makes the rest of the organization run. And that's what these ladies have done. It's pretty incredible. I don't know if you've met Shanae yet, but Shanae is one of our newest employees. She works in the back in the warehouse with Jordan, and she's made an incredible impact since she's been here. So really, I'm recognizing Jordan and Shanae for their ability to take our warehouse and make it more efficient. Jordan has done a continuous improvement on the warehouse, where not only we began organizing about a year ago, we're putting the finishing touches on it now. We have more racks in place. We have an inventory system that Jordan's putting in place that's automated now. It's really incredible. And, you know, and Shanae has come in and just like jumped on it like gangbusters, just getting it done. So now they've moved to the outside. And now they've organized the back of the yard where we have a bunch of very large valves. Now we have an inventory system for those, where they're sorted out, they're inventoried, and we can see what we have, so we don't buy more when we don't need it, right? And that's the big key. And they've just done fantastic. So I'm going to recognize Jordan and Shanae first. Okay, now we have Brittany, right? So Brittany, I probably haven't seen Brittany very much because she's our billing supervisor. And, you know, Brittany's one of these unsung heroes in the back that keeps all the records straight and keeps it going. Well, this month, you know, we went through our disconnect cycle this month, and Brittany has really figured out a way to more efficiently use our labor. And so our disconnects this month, compared to the billing effort that we're going to do with the city of Cibolo, is going to really streamline how much time we're spending to do disconnects and those sorts of things. And she's just a heck of a good person, too. I really enjoy working with her. Here you go. And I want to recognize, okay, well, maybe I do work for all these ladies. Who knows? Thank you very much, Brittany.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank y'all for everything y'all do. Appreciate it. Moving on to item E2, business and operations, GM updates. Mr. Gage.
Okay, so one addition to my memo that's in there, just very briefly, and the memo says we have 59 employees, we actually have 60. So we're 60 today. Our target for this year is 61. We have one space left to hire this year, and that's going to be in the meter department. So really what we've been able to do since the 15th of September is add about 9 faces to the team. And that gets us to where we wanted to be. I wanted to be about 58. You know, last year didn't quite make it there, but now we're full strength this year. So what that gives you now is we have 3 full crews out in the water maintenance department. We've got full crews in the sewer department, which is going to be very handy as we start to start up the new 0.5 expansion that Travis will tell us about in his update in a little bit. And then, of course, we got Jennifer on board, too, our new communications manager that we introduced to you last week. So we're going to sit there for a while. The plan is long-term is in January, we'll start looking to fill our last meter position, and that should be all the personnel that we need for the next FY, and that ability to get our team kind of solidified and set. And that's the only update that I had on my memo there that I wanted to call out, pending any questions.
No, I think everything's good. Everybody good? All right, moving on to Brian, operations update.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So currently we stand at just over 19,500 connections, 19,506 to be exact. We added 103 in the month of September. That puts us at about 977 connections for the calendar year so far, which is actually 36 below where we did last year as a whole. So in October, we'll actually pass last year's connection total. I'm projecting to be around 1,280 to 1,300 connections for the entire year once we're all said and done for 2025. So we'll see how that actually goes. For water production, we produced or purchased just under 700 acre feet, so 693 acre feet to be exact. for the month of September. September was our peak month this year, and we will see the numbers start to go down as we start to dip into the colder temperatures, less irrigation, so less water use throughout the district. We've used just over 53% of our allocated water so far for the year, and we're projecting to be somewhere between 70 and 75% of our allocated water once the entire year is done. And then your packet has attachment 1. It's completely updated with all of our resources and the numbers and everything that we have in there. For billing, so once again, September was an interesting month because we actually billed over 700 acre feet of water, even though we pumped or purchased 693. And that's okay because our system, storage and pipes and all that stuff, holds approximately 23 acre feet. So even though we pumped or purchased less and we billed more, we have that water was already in the system and we're good to go. So that 700 acre feet equated to just over $2.75 million in revenue for Green Valley. And then our unbilled usage was about 12 and a half acre feet, which equates to just about $95,000 lost that we would have been able to bill. Moving into wastewater. So wastewater continues to grow just like the water side with 36 new connections in September. We are actually already past what we did in 2024 for wastewater. We did 320 so far for 2025. We've got 397 connections, and I expect us to be somewhere around the 500 to 515 connection total mark once the year is complete for that one. For billing, we're normal trend, nothing significant to report there. And then plant utilization, we're back down to 53.6% for the wastewater plant, which is perfectly fine, nothing crazy. The new plant is on schedule, and next week we actually do begin to seed, and we'll begin startup of the new plant next month. Pending any questions, that's all I have.
When do you guys want to start, I guess, scheduling an owner's walk? Or did y'all already do y'all's substantial completion walk before? Or you waiting for
I
the
was going to
seed?
get the update in my engineering
get that.
report,
All
but
right.
I
I'll
can
go to-
address it
well,
now.
Shoot, we're going to you in a minute, so stand by. All right. No questions for Brian? Everybody good? All right. Thank you, Brian, for the report. Moving on to CRWA Board of Trustees post-meeting updates. Ms. McDaniel and Mr. Sherman.
I'll go first. Couple items, one item from general business I want to make note of. We discussed the posting of the controller that CRWA is going to hire. That is a critical hire that needs to get done soon. So the board continues to bring it up in the meetings. So we're pushing forward for that. We had 2 executive session items. These were the other important items from the meeting. 2 different pieces of litigation. After the closed session, we came out into open session, and Mr. Poor made a motion to authorize the litigation committee that we have to attempt to settle the lawsuit with the city of San Marcos. So that would be a good thing, I believe, if we could settle that out. The other item I was going to let Sherry talk about because she pulled an item.
They're also hiring for an AGM, and I talked with Kerry, and apparently he's actually, he's got a lot of candidates for both of the positions. He said he was going to be interviewing this week for the AGM and then next week for the controller. The item that I pulled was for the financial statements. I looked over the financial statements and found that there was a lot of questionable items that was on their FY25 budget compared to the actuals for the end of the year. So I told him that I wanted to have my budget committee look over everything before we brought it back to the board. So we do have a budget committee meeting scheduled for November the 6th at 11:30. So I don't. And we will go over all of that, and then we'll bring it back to the board at the next meeting. All I have.
Okay, good work. Anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns? Good. All right, moving on to CRWA Board of Managers post-meeting updates. Mr. Gage.
So the Board of Managers, this last month, it was actually pretty good. I included my memo in the board packet there. We did a tour of Lake Dunlap, and this is starting a series of tours that we're gonna do. I'm essentially, dragging everyone to go tour the treatment facilities so we can get an idea and better make recommendations to the Board of Trustees. And what we found on this particular tour is, we talk about several things during the Board of Trustees meeting that I think it's hitting the wave tops. So the top of the wave, right? That there's a lot of folks that don't really understand the details. The phenomenon is at CRWA, Mr. Sherman's construction committee, those folks know the details because they talk about the projects in detail, but the trustees at large don't, and the Board of Managers at large don't either. And I think it's what we discovered after we looked at the filter project and the strainer upgrades that are going into, that need to go into Lake Dunlap, that a lot of folks didn't really have a concept of where that's located in the plant, how the plant functions, what the real needs of the operators are. So we've got some of that information, and we talked directly to the operators, to tell us, how the plant's running. And what we're going to do next month, for our next month's Board of Managers meeting, we're going to do an after-action review on this one, the tour we just did, and then we're going to go to Hayes Caldwell next, followed by Wells Ranch Treatment Plant. And the reason why we're going to go to Hayes Caldwell next is because a majority of the members who have voting, who vote and make recommendations, have no concept of what, the Hayes Caldwell group looks like. And so we figured to sequence that one in first to try to get us better, and able to give good recommendations and guidance to the staff over there. So that's going to be a good thing. So we're making an effort. And then we're also going to talk about, coming up next month, is how we do our emergency contacts for CRWA. You recall we did have a line that went down, for CRWA that didn't cause any water outages, but we had to make adjustments to our system. So we're pushing as a Board of Managers to ensure that we have an operations call, a way to share information, responsible parties for all systems. Seems like a simple thing to do, but it's really necessary to make sure communications are better. So we're making good progress with the Board of Managers. It was a good meeting last month, and like I said, that's what we're looking forward to next month. So pending any questions on that.
I'd just like to make a comment, and Mr. Sherman, you can back me up on this. My perception of CRWA, especially when it surfaced in the freeze in 21, there was no organized method of reporting or gaining information of what was happening and where, even within Green Valley. The board members, it took a day or two to find out what was really going on and what the staff was doing to restore water services, because we had pumps frozen all over the place. Like, yeah, I remember you were out trying to find them diesel. Anyway, it's just my comments. Good step forward.
Well, it's moving in the right direction, so keep it going. All right, moving on to ARWA Board of Directors post-meeting updates. Mr. Sherman.
So we've had two meetings this month. We had a special meeting early in the month to authorize the construction manager at risk contract. The Haskell Group, which I'm not familiar with personally, but they were the selected construction manager at risk. So we had a special meeting earlier to go ahead and get them on contract and get them started in the process. We had another meeting yesterday, our regularly scheduled meeting, that was actually delayed a little bit to allow all the members to have their board meetings. So at our meeting yesterday, the highlights were we had to have several individual action items to approve the bonds that we have approved, and then CRWA approved, and then the other sponsors, they have their own little sections. We had to have 4 different action items to approve those, totaling around $30 million in the next phase of the design. The other item, one other item I want to point out is we took action to hire Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates, the auditor. That's who ARWA has used for several years. We've got a different actual auditor, just for best practice to change it up a little bit. $13,500 is pretty reasonable, I think, for that contract amount. So we got our auditor in place. And then the last item to talk about is the update on the plant expansion. Within 2 weeks, the CMAR contractor has done a fair bit of work. We reviewed a schedule of when deliverable items are due. The most important one I want to point out is the cost model, which will be due November 26th. So that will give us, that's the maximum price the CMAR contractor is willing to complete the work for. So once we have that, every one of the sponsors can be informed of what their share will be of the expansion, the construction phase. So that is the big one to note there. But since there were two meetings, they were kind of a little bit quicker, broken up. So
When is that supposed to be told to us? November, December time period, or is this gonna be like next
I
year?
would say I don't have a specific answer to that. I would say there's no reason to withhold that information.
Yeah.
I'll be reporting it,
Just
immediately.
ballpark, you're thinking,
It'd probably take a month to review and evaluate and make sure everything's done. So call it no
January,
later than
February?
January at our meeting. I'll have information for you.
all right. It works.
I guess we're used to.
All right, Travis, you're up.
Good morning. I'll just do a brief update here of the ongoing projects we have. Right now, in total, we have 76 projects in design, 55 in construction, 18 in closeout, totaling 149 projects. So my department is staying highly caffeinated and engaged most hours of the workday. On the capital improvement side, we've got a couple updates there too as well. The 24-inch water line that will be going down Lower Seguin Road and also the Green Valley Road that is connecting Plant 1 to Plant 9. We got the routing analysis submitted on Tuesday, so we'll be making a selection on those routes and getting that back pretty quickly, and that'll lead us into the actual 30% design. The Plan 11 Phase 2 project, I provided a photo in my progress report. They have started excavating for the second ground storage tank. They, as of last week, luckily before it rained, got down to the bottom of the excavation, and they will be backfilling. Starting this week, and then DN Tanks will be mobilizing on December 1st to start installing the tank. And so that's some great progress on that one. The Plant 10 rehab that we've engaged Westwood on, they are in their 30% design. And I got an update the other day that the Geotech has done their bores on site for the building and a couple of the pump building, sorry, and the other pads that will be going in. So that's really a good start for the 30% design. And then the last update I have, I'll just roll into the Santa Clara wastewater treatment plant, the 0.5 expansion. We really made a lot of progress this month. They've pretty much wrapped up all the actual construction activities, and we've moved into the testing phase. To answer your question from earlier, the plant, they're tracking to do startup next week, and then looking for a substantial completion walkthrough between November 12th through 14th. So they're trying to hit it before we get to Thanksgiving on the walkthrough. They've been working with staff recently in the past couple weeks, and I've been able to participate in a couple of the demonstration trainings on. I was out there for the blower. I think they had filter training this morning, but it got pushed back to Tuesday, and then I'll be out there tomorrow morning for the UV system demonstration testing and training.
So go live, actual usage, we're thinking December?
Yes,
Okay.
early December. You know, substantial. We're doing startup in a couple weeks, hoping next week, and then they'll seed the plant, and we'll get things rolling early December. And so I've been really impressed with Archer Western and their progress.
As far as like quality control, did we have a third-party inspector?
Yes.
So we're good on them?
Yeah, we're
They've
good on that.
checked everything, documented everything, taken all the
Yes.
pictures.
Yeah.
Punch items are all wrapping up.
Yes, and they'll develop a punch list after the substantial completion walkthrough. That'll be an official punch list they'll work off of to
But
wrap
they're
up
at
the
least
project.
getting ahead on the punch list before
Oh,
we
I'm
do the
yes.
walk, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen an official punch list, but I would assume they're populating one
Okay.
as they go along. And so, and I've been out there and pointed out items to the superintendent just walking around, and I mean they've been addressed within a week or two.
Okay.
So that's all I've got for you today. So
Awesome.
Hey, I'll just add to Travis's report so just kind of give you the 30,000-foot view, right? So everything that, a lot of the projects that we have going is related to storage, right? Storage of potable water. The Plant 11, that storage tank gets in there, it's going to give us, 1 million gallons right in the dead center of our system. Why is that important? Because right now, currently during this summer, we've been, I'll say redlining, but we've been pushing CRWA's treatment capacity, to the max during certain periods of time. So storage for us is becoming very, very important because with the addition of the storage, it allows us to reduce our peaks and shift the demand so the plant can keep up with us, right? I mean, so that's one of the things that we're looking at. You have to tie that together, our need for storage, with the need for CRWA's plant maintenance, right? These two things are very interconnected, right? So, and then the same thing with Plant 10 down in McQueenie that, Travis Priest Westwood is working on. That'll bring 500,000 gallons of storage and back into our system that we already own, right? So that's going to be huge, right? Because storage is going to become the name of our game as we keep developing out and more demand comes on the system. We got to have more and more storage. So you'll see that there's going to be a point in the future, probably after the first of the year. I think we have scheduled to take a look at master plans and stuff. We probably need to look, for a future discussion, exactly how we're going to reprioritize a bit in terms of the sequence of our storage projects. Because, they're not extremely cheap, but they're extremely necessary. So we got to get it right. But and you can see that we're getting the work done ahead of time with all the design. So we'll be actually say, when are we going to pull trigger and go to construction? So that's kind of what we're doing, 30,000 feet. And you can see, the results of, Travis's work on that.
yeah, I'll add to Phil's 30,000-foot view on the master planning. I spoke with the operations staff about master planning, and I don't know how much they were involved in the past, but I plan on, every year reevaluating those master plans as growth shifts around and where it comes, and then working with our operations staff to see, hey guys, where do you think we need where do we think we need these improvements moving forward? So.
Well, I know like on the CIP wise, we have a lot of things 100% design or close to it. And then we have completion dates still years out,
Yes.
right? So
Some of that,
obviously it does take time,
yeah.
but I mean, as things start piling up over time, we just got to really,
Yeah.
start adding to the list or working on the designs if the design phase takes so long, just that we're not waiting longer for completion.
I know some of
Uh,
those completion dates seem long, but a lot of that's
I
material.
know it's
procurement.
ballpark too.
Yeah.
It's not actuals until like we get, dirt
Construction.
moving, but, yeah, so.
The interesting thing is, if you think about it, right? I mean, several $1 million that we're going to need. We may come to a point in the future once we have these things designed that we create a package and we go bond for the money. I mean, we've done that in the past. We may have to do that again. It's not beyond the realm. We're trying to approach it from a standpoint where we could just pay cash as we go. But we won't always be able to do that, right? So, I mean, getting them designed is incredibly important because that way we can then know what the cost is going to be and go borrow money if we have to.
And I know this CIP status update, is there any more behind it that's actually in design right now? Or,
No,
so everything that's in design is on here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Everything we have is on there, and we didn't add to it from last year. I think we had some lofty ambitions there was about 19 projects on there.
Right.
And so discussing with Phil when we put this year's budget together, we decided not to add anything to it because we've got so much in play right now, and just finishing up some of those projects and then getting some others into construction.
And that's a good point. I like the ambitious attitude, let's go get it done, but we also have to execute well. We have to execute well. So make sure your target is, lofty, but still achievable and not struggle with it. So.
All right. Anybody have any other questions, comments? Good. All right, moving on to committee reports. Anybody want to make comments, additions, concerns, questions? No? All right. Moving on to consider item F, consideration and possible action related to NSAs on water and wastewater for F1 through F7. Construction committees reviewed, staffs reviewed. We have recommendations for
Yes,
approval.
I did want to note, the construction, the two Clark's Crossing agreements that are 6 and 7, we reviewed those in September, and there were some amendments requested in those NSSAs, specifically the sewer NSSA or wastewater NSSA. Our standard template has a 5-year limit on it, and one of the concerns from the signing party was that, hey, our feasibility study says we won't get capacity until the 1.25, and they were just worried about that timing. And so they had requested that we start that 5-year clock whenever the treatment plant came online. And as staff, we didn't think that was the greatest idea. So what we did was we just extended that 5-year time frame to a 7-year time frame. And so that was the amendment that kind of pushed that one back from being
Yeah,
reviewed in
allows
September.
for construction and everything.
Yeah, it allows that. We think for construction, it's about 18 to 2-year window on that one. And so we just incorporated that into the contract instead of delaying the signing period till later. So
Good with that?
The committee has gone over all of these. We unanimously agreed, recommended approval. Staff unanimously recommended approval. So I believe they're good to go.
Okay, you want to make a motion then?
Anybody have any other questions? I'll make a motion that we approve items F1 through F7.
I'll go for it. It's yours.
All right, got a motion by Mr. Sherman, second by Mr. Hendricks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope, ayes have it. Thank you for that. Shan, any updates on G1 through G2?
Just on G1, there's just a minor matter that I want to address in executive session.
Okay. Parking ticket. So minor, okay. All right,
It's pending litigation and it's been pending for a long time. It's an
Okay.
eminent domain issue, so.
okay. Thank you for that. All right, moving to item H and I don't believe anything else needs to go into executive session, so at this time is 9:32. We're gonna go into closed session under Texas Government Code Section 551.071 through 551.074 and or 551.0076. Yep, 10 minutes and then we'll start it. So, yep. Yeah. All right, we are coming back into open session. Time is 10:31. All right, do we have any, we're going to item, sorry, pull this up here. I? No, J. Consideration and possible action on items discussed in executive session. Mr. King.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the general manager to negotiate and execute a lease agreement for 775 acre feet per year of Edwards Aquifer water from Dean Word in accordance with the terms that were discussed in executive session.
You have a motion?
I'll second.
Mr. Robinson is the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope, the ayes have it. Okay, consideration for proposed items to be included in next month's board meeting agenda. Anything? Okay, if you have anything come up, just get with Gage. And then we are moving to items L, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Time is 10:32.